Before we get absolutely mortal, I'd like to remind everyone that this podcast contains two pissed up gays with their opinions, rants and raves in life, and overall explicit content, which we know you love every week. Everyone and anyone is welcome to this podcast, so strap yourselves in, pour yourself a large one, down it like the both of us are doing right now, pour another one, and let's get this going and let's read between the lines. Well, we should have got some fanfares or something this week. I think this is an important week and we've not made much of an effort.
10 years old.
10 years old.
10 weeks old.
10 years old. Fucking hell. What podcast do you know that goes on for 10 years? Fucking feels like it.
10 weeks.
10 weeks old.
Well done us.
So
we've done really well.
Yeah, we're technically in the first trimester still if we were pregnant, right? So
that's true.
Still time to abort. I'm considering it. Everyone's got a right to abort if they want.
Well, no, I think we're onto a winner here.
Well,
onto a winner.
I'll see how I feel in the morning.
This is like a prize-winning puppy at Crufts.
Yeah, well... Well, yes, 10 weeks old, and it's gone very quick.
It has gone really quick, yeah.
It's gone very quick, and each week's been vulgar and filth, which is exactly what I love. So this week I expect no less. However, this week I don't know what to fucking expect.
Because finally, after weeks of promising...
What is this with this years thing?
It's felt like years.
Tell me about it.
After weeks of promising, I've finally taken the reins today.
Yeah.
I think your nature to know what's going on is really being pushed to its limit this week.
I mean, every fucking week I'm pushed to the limit with this podcast, but we still move and we still go.
We move.
But yeah, 10 weeks old.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been quite the journey, shall we say.
Indeed. Indeed.
But, I mean, every week's been about fucking filth and, you know, we always somehow slot the bit of incest in there. Grindr always pops up. So I'm pretty certain I know what this week's going to be about.
I think we're more than one-trick ponies, though.
Well, we got to show it then, haven't we? Because not that we've got any bad feedback, but...
And if ponies is your thing, please listen to last week's episode.
Oh, yeah. Actually, we'll leave that to the shout-outs. We'll leave that to the shout-outs. But, yeah, if pony's your thing, then hit us up.
Ride it.
Talking about last week. Was that last week that we were talking about the... or was that the week before that we were talking about the trees and stuff? That was the week before, right? Yeah, it was.
The trees was the week
2
before.
weeks ago we were talking about the tree. We were in a pub this week talking to our lovely friends.
Indeed.
And... none of them knew what dendrophilia was, so I feel like we enlightened the girls on what
Maybe
that was.
we should shout them out. Do they deserve a shout out?
No, they don't deserve a shout out because they haven't listened since episode 1 or 2.
I take that back.
So yeah, and when they moan at me for saying this, that's when I'll shout them out because
you know who you are.
I know who they. But yeah, I mean, we educate. We aim to educate on this podcast. We aim to enlighten, educate, inspire, traumatise.
Traumatise.
Yes.
Those are the words I was thinking.
So yeah, if we're offending you or traumatising you, then please let us know because we love it.
We have done our jobs well.
Exactly.
Indeed.
I've been offending people and traumatising people my whole life, so why would I stop just because I'm recording a podcast, you know? Anyway.
But we're not here to traumatise at this very moment because now is the time for shout out.
Well, yeah, shout outs. So do you want to go? I know I want to shout out this week.
Well, I'd like to shout out Catherine.
Well, that's who I wanted to shout out because I was what's the word I'm looking for? I was scrolling through TikTok yesterday and a notification came up to say that last week's episode made her laugh to the point that she threw up in public, and I fucking love that. So yes, girl.
Well done.
I hope it was laughter though to the point you were throwing up, and not actually the thought of, you know, us talking about horse penis and I can't remember what we were saying about. Oh, the girl that fucked the horse and the guy that fucked the horse. To be honest,
cosplay as a horse,
the little hooves and stuff.
I think it was probably the being fucked by a horse that brought a
See, that makes some people throw up, but that turns me on, so I can't relate, you know what I mean? I went straight out of here and was on zoophilia.com after we started listening to that. Something about a big horse penis that really gets me going.
No horses were traumatised in the making of last week's podcast.
I can't confirm that, or I can't deny that. We live on an area full of horses.
We do indeed,
We live on an area full of horses. I'm not talking about the animals here, I'm talking about the girls. But yeah, shout out to Catherine, because that really made me laugh, that comment on Twitter.
Exactly.
Not Twitter, TikTok.
TikTok.
Look at me getting the social medias
Yeah,
mixed
on
up.
TikTok.
We're not on Twitter for this podcast.
No,
Because I know
Twitter
this.
at all.
I'm on Twitter, but not for this podcast, because I know that this podcast is filth, but Twitter's double filth, and I don't want to be on that
Well,
platform.
more to come on that later on.
Isn't Twitter just for complaining?
Well, that's I signed up to that once to complain at someone, but because I had 0 followers, it had no effect whatsoever. So, pointless waste of time.
I once complained on Twitter, I think I showed you this. I once complained on Twitter because my daughter wanted a Halloween costume, and I left it to her mum to buy the Halloween costume, and I paid for it. And when I got home, the fucking Halloween costume was meant to be a cat, and it was the exact replica. On the front of the fucking Halloween costume was the exact replica of the Grindr logo. So I took a photo of it, and I fucking tweeted Sainsbury's, because we bought it from Sainsbury's, and I sent them a picture, and they gave me a refund, but yeah, I was furious. I was in the closet at that time, right? So the fact that I told my then wife that looked like the Grindr logo didn't go down very well.
The beginning of the end, maybe.
Well, it was we say the beginning of that, yeah. Wasn't the end for everything, though.
Like
but
emerging,
yeah,
like a
reverse Venus flytrap. It opened rather
I
than
was trying
shut
to be
it.
more.
I'm talking about my anus here and my mouth.
So was I.
It's not like a Venus flytrap. Although I've seen that film Teeth.
Oh yeah.
Seen that film Teeth?
I've not
where
seen it, but I've heard
the
it.
teeth for vagina.
Yeah.
That's like me. Come piss me off, I'll get them out.
That's gonna leave a mark.
I would fucking hope so. We've got quite a good Jewish community around here. They just use my arse to circumcise their babies. That's what I'm known for. When I'm not booking acting jobs, I'm at synagogue.
But it's like that the story we told last week about the man who said you had nice teeth when he was.
What teeth? What are we talking about?
No,
What
that
teeth?
wasn't you. Remember the one of the stories we told last week about popping his cherry with his 8-inch penis that he thought was going to be 6.
Oh,
high five,
that.
and then said you had nice teeth.
Yeah, but he weren't saying that to me.
No,
was he?
I wasn't suggesting it. But you
Well, I don't care then, do I?
It's all about you.
It's all
babe.
about me. I'm the biggest narcissist going. I fucking love it. Anyway, yes.
Right, speaking
Moving
of all
on.
about you, let's talk about rants.
Rants. Where do I begin? Actually, I don't know whether this one is a rant or whether this was quite entertaining, but I was in foul mood that night.
Yeah.
I was in a foul mood, right? It's like the universe spoke this week and they bought me this fucking shit show live action Jeremy Kyle episode straight outside my house, right? I was in a really foul mood, weren't in a mood for anything, went into the toilet, to sort myself out, calm myself down, compose myself, and I came back in and there was World War III outside, right? It was fucking brilliant.
Genuinely, I thought it was gangs.
Oh, it was a group of skanky white girls,
Not quite the gang I was promised.
and they were all fighting. They were all beating each other up, and then the boys came along. Then the boys got involved. They were all kicking the shit out of each other, and it was good to begin with. Then the police came. It was fantastic, but it went on to about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was
Well,
like,
yeah,
"Fuck's sake!" Like I was getting the ump in the end because what fucked me off more than anything, and this is the ranty part, is they fucking moved round the back of the house where I couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
First they started about the front of the house, and I was living for it because I was watching them beat each other up. I thought, oh, this is brilliant. My whole mood changed. But then they went round the back of the house, and all I could hear was them screaming. And what was worse about this is once in my life, I once threatened someone because they threatened me, right? They threatened me with my address. I threatened them back. I got fucking arrested for that, right? Arrested. They kicked the shit out of each other last week. The police came and not a single one of them was arrested. They were going off like fucking lunatics, screaming, beating each other up in front of the police officers, who were the biggest pair of morons going, and they got away with it.
Yeah.
All I said was one comment. I mean, it was many, many, many years ago, but yeah, that fucked me right off.
Yeah, it was unreal because they started off at least half. I think you missed the first at least 20, 25 minutes of it. And then, which was maybe not the worst, because it did get worse. I think you saw the best bit. But then after that, by the time... Well, I think one of the gang who were fighting called the police, right?
I don't know. All I heard was someone saying, I'm on the phone to the police. I thought, it's about to get juicy. But it fizzled out. Yeah.
But then some woman in a
dressing gown. I told you, it's Jeremy Kyle, isn't it? It's like the green room.
Absolutely.
Or the audition process. The audition process with Jeremy Kyle. Because, listen, they were exactly the sort of people that were going on that show. Through and through. From the attire to the look. I couldn't see their teeth, but I imagine they were rank because everyone on Jeremy Kyle has rank teeth.
Always.
Maybe they should drop that. You know, maybe they've got bigger teeth than me. My vagina teeth, not my lovely teeth.
Oh, there we go.
Anyway, yeah, that was a semi rant.
What a shame Jeremy Kyle is no more. We could have.
Well, we could have brought it back. Actually, got your little camera out last week. We could have brought it back, right? It would have been better because this was like Jeremy Kyle but with the proper fighting.
Yeah, true.
So it was probably more Springer-esque.
Maybe more Springer.
But yeah, that was a bit of a rant. But yeah, that's my semi-rant. Other rant I got. Actually, I've got 2 rants.
Okay.
I went for a sunbed yesterday, right? Or day before, I can't remember. And there was this group of like hoodlums outside the sunbed shop, and they were exactly the sort of boys that usually have something to say about my appearance, right? So I was ready for a fucking row. However, if there's one thing this new look that I've got, where I've got half black and half pink, it works to my advantage, right? So if I walk in towards someone and they're on the left of me, I'm like, and they can just see all the black, and I'm like, and then I can just turn and be like my real self. So this actually works now. When I'm around horrible white straight boys, I turn to the right so they can just see the black part of the hair. They think I'm normal, Ronnie, and then I turn back and then they see all the pink and the pink eyebrow, and I'm me, right? So
well, for me, that's normal, Ronnie.
Right? So this is 2 sides of my personality. So black hair Ronnie is for the straight homophobes, and pink haired Ronnie is for the glittering gay community. Don't know which way you're going to get me, but I'm using it to my advantage. So they were going to probably say something to me yesterday, but they saw that I had black hair and black eyebrow. Didn't fucking batter an eyelid.
Well, there we go.
So yeah, it's working.
It's working. And it's funny because when you did it, you suggested that, well, I said you looked, when I was younger, a big fan of Batman and Two-Face, and I wasn't saying that your face had 2 sides. I was saying that your hair had 2 sides.
I ain't got 2 faces. Catch me, you fucking want me. I'm either polite or I tell you the truth.
Well, exactly.
If I'm being polite around you, know that
straight and to the point.
Well, no, it's just me being diplomatic. Whether it goes for anyone in this world, if I'm being polite and I'm being nice, I'm being diplomatic. That's not me. Don't get on the wrong side of me, because I swear to God I'll destroy you. Right? That's the real me. But nice me and sensible me has to sometimes rein it in a bit.
There we go.
Sometimes, yeah. And then my final rant. I'm not going to mention... I say this every week. I'm not going to mention names. I ain't going to mention names because I don't know whether they listen to this podcast. However, if they did call me up on it, I'd say it.
Yeah.
I can't stand people that... I'm all for everyone talking about being honest and open with their lives on social media, but I do think there's a level of sharing too much for me, and I think that you can be honest and you can be open about who you are, what you stand for, but I just think sometimes things are a little too much.
Yeah.
And I saw it a lot on social media this week with one person in particular has an illness. Is it illness the right word? I don't know. Yeah, it is an illness, right? He's got an illness.
Yeah.
Which is fine and totally accepting, totally understanding. But the way that he was sharing it this week and almost shaming certain people for not being on board with this illness and shaming people for not understanding this illness rather than educating people about it was almost shaming people for not knowing much about it. And not everyone is going to know what's going on with you. Not everyone is going to understand what's going on with you. This is social media. This isn't real life. Everyone portrays a certain character of themselves, a certain look of themselves on social media. You can't take it too seriously. But this series of posts this week was almost, I would say, to the point of attention seeking and shaming people for not being on board with what he necessarily stands for, what he's going through. And I don't like that. I think fuck off. Like, and also what made me laugh about it is like these like videos where he's like, hi everyone, like almost talking as if he's got, I mean, I don't have hundreds of thousands of followers, but I looked, he had 87. I'm like, well, who are you trying
even I've got more followers
but who are you trying to target here? Like, you've got 87 followers, they're probably your friends, right? Because if they were random people, you'd have more than 87 followers.
Yeah.
You've got 87 followers, they're probably your friends. Who are you shaming? Who the fuck are you shaming here? Like, if it was thousands upon thousands of followers of people you didn't know, people didn't know him, people didn't know his journey, then I would totally have got it. But you've got 87 followers. Yeah. Who are you trying to shame here? Who are you trying to, ridicule here? And the thirsty videos, it was like the semi-naked stories of, how he got trapped in the weather. And so I'm just like, I actually quite liked you at one point, but your stories are pissing me off. And that's fine. Like, my stories probably piss people off as well, right? I probably lost followers over the time. I don't care. I don't care. But it fucks me off.
People take things too far.
It's just thirsty.
And something that they think, is attention seeking. I think we're in a generation of attention seekers, right? It just happens But I just wanted to say thank you to my 88 followers because you're all marvellous.
I mean, I lose followers by the day, but to be honest, I've stopped looking. I used to have an app on my iPhone that told me who unfollowed me, and that was the worst thing I ever had because I would get fucking angry.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was people from work, or not my current work, but my old work. Sometimes it was people from my old company that I thought we were fucking friends still.
Yeah, well,
Or I
it.
used to get me the ump, and I thought, do you know what? I've got to step away from this vile fucking social media ring of fire that I'm in right now because I'm starting to hate people which they just might not want to see my content. It might be not what they want to see every day, and that's absolutely fine, but that doesn't mean that they're not my mates and stuff. I had to delete that app. I had to delete that app. It used to give me the ump. I'd look on the daily who's unfollowed me, and then I'd go make a point of unfollowing them, and then I thought, oh, what the fuck is this all about? This is social media. Like, get a life.
Yeah.
Get a fucking life.
It's that Black Mirror episode all in real life.
Full front, Black Mirror. Let's get on the fucking subject of Black Mirror. This is in real time. What a load of shit this new series is.
The couple I've seen were okay, but they weren't as good as the previous season.
I started watching it last night, sent me to sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm the worst sleeper going. Fucking sent me to sleep. You know what I hate as well? Fucking Netflix is when you fall asleep at one, it continues to play them all. So then the next day I'm like, I don't know where I finished. Yeah. They've all got red lines all through the episodes.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
exactly, yeah.
I don't know where I finished. I don't know where I fell asleep at. What the fuck? Why don't you... Well, I suppose they wouldn't know if I'm asleep. You know, sometimes, are you still watching?
Yeah, but it waits for ages.
Waits for hours. Oh, I was fuming.
And
Anyway. Slagging off Black Mirror and Netflix.
Rant over. But that leads us nicely onto today's theme.
Yeah.
Because we are deep diving into social media, or more importantly, gay social media 101. Is it social or just boastful?
What's 101? Is that room 101?
No, because, you know, in America, when they do, like, courses in colleges and whatever they call university over there, 101 is basically, like, level 1 of the subject.
But we ain't in America.
Well, I work for an American-based company that love the idea of 101s, 201s. So.
Well, I can't stand it. So can we change that? Can we change that name, please? What have we called it? Social media what? To forget the numbers.
Gay social media, social or just boastful. So that's our topic for today because, you know, as a community, we are in love with social medias.
I don't think that's just a gay community, though. That's just people in general, right?
Yes, but I question, like, are there different types of... I think you definitely find a Facebook gay, you'll find a Twitter gay, you'll find a Instagram gay. Me, and me. Which leads to my first question, like, how does the gay community engage with social media? Like, we definitely do have... There is such a thing as an Instagram gay, a Twitter gay.
There is, of course there is.
And so how like, I think we can easily identify what each of those types of gay are.
Well, I think on things like Twitter, you've got two type of gays. You've got the ones that just go on there to be who they are, and you've got the ones that go on there to create an X-rated Twitter, right? And that fucking makes me laugh. That makes me laugh. On Instagram, they're all fucking, like, sweet and roses. Oh, look at me in Mala. Look at me in Bali. Look at me here. Look at me stroking an elephant. I'm so fucking tranquil. And then on the link tree, you go on Twitter, he's wanking off, or got his dick out, or he's sitting there playing with a toy, or he's putting his fucking feet in someone's face, or choking someone. It's like, you're a completely different person on Twitter than you are to Instagram. Like, Twitter for me is dangerous when it comes to gays. Like, it's so easy to open up a X-rated Twitter, and I do think gay people use Twitter as almost like a free preview to OnlyFans or something like that. Because you can't charge people on Twitter, or at least I don't know if you can, but it makes me sick.
But surely they have like a content filter on there. You can't, like, who was it? Oh, years and years ago, didn't, like, it was Tumblr. Do you remember Tumblr?
I do, but I was a bit young for Tumblr.
Yeah, I know a Tumblr for a long time had been a massive thing for, like, the queer community, and obviously this was while I was still in the closet. There were lots of, like, gay Tumblers who were able to at least, like, show people in, like, underwear, but then just the bulge was banned all over Tumblr, and the gays went mental, as we tend to do.
Well, on Twitter now, you can show what the fuck you like. Like, you can literally show what you like. There is no regulation when it comes to Twitter. And I kind of respect it. Like, I wouldn't do it. I'm not showing this any of this for free. Well,
to certain communities.
half of the community would disagree. Right, let me reword that. I would share all of this for free, but I wouldn't do it on social media, like where there's...
Honey, make money. That's what I'm saying.
I don't need to make money. I don't need to get my body out on social media to make money. I make my own sort of money doing other things. Prostitution, gigolo, all those sorts of things. Now I have to pay people to sleep with me. Joking. But no, I mean, yeah. In my experience, I haven't seen just a normal gay on Twitter for a long time.
No,
it's always been these porno gays.
The other type of gay, is it not also full of the gays who want to kind of not quite troll, but like call out people who are slightly homophobic as well? I guess it comes back to what you said before about Twitter being a place where you complain. I
haven't seen anyone call people out on Twitter for being homophobic. I see that more on Instagram, on Insta stories. I don't really see that on Twitter, but maybe that's because I'm not following the right sort of people.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I obviously am not straight.
What gave it away?
Fuck knows. But I have Twitter, but I used to use Twitter as a platform for my acting career.
Yeah.
And then, I still kind of do. It's got everything. So I've never been offensive on Twitter. Never been offensive on my posts and stuff. Like, I've DM'd companies and people when I'm fucking fuming, but I've never been offensive. But I do follow some gay people on Twitter, but for me, Twitter's so fucking boring. And that is just like, for me... a free OnlyFans for me, and I maybe that's just the people that maybe it's my algorithm.
I've never had the experience of gay Twitter because I used Twitter for like 2 days, and then when my complaint didn't work, I gave up, and I've never been back on it since.
It's just shit. It's shit. I don't want to go onto Twitter to watch you jacking off into the camera or you showing a close-up picture of your spunky underwear. Like, what's the point?
Oh, a bit of sign up.
What's the point? I mean, it's rank. The only thing about it, which I think is good, is it adds a layer of authenticity to the porn content that you're seeing. So if you're looking on Pornhub, all right, fine, you could, you've got the Pornhub record section where that is meant to be amateur people. 9 times out of 10 it ain't. Whereas on Twitter, it kind of is amateur people. And I suppose for some people, that's a bit of turn on, right? You think, oh God, this is real. Whereas on pornos, it's fake. Maybe the guy from the story last week that was watching the porno and trying to simulate it should have been on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Probably wouldn't have hurt his arse as much.
There we go. Exactly.
So if you're listening, you should go to Twitter.
It's where the real type of porn lives. Apparently.
Well, I wouldn't follow anything that I see on there.
But I can't imagine, like, it's been a long time since I watched porn, but surely some of it is the nice part of it was not real.
I don't know, controversial statement here, but I've never I've watched it in the past, but I've never really like gone to it for any form of sexual gratification. I've usually made my own. But quite the library. I'm on season 9 right now. Season 9 of the Porn Diaries. Yeah, we're stepping it up a notch.
That's not being cancelled anytime soon.
No, it ain't. It's actually doing quite well. Cleaning up.
So that's we've talked about Twitter a lot, but as a regular user of Instagram, like Instagram gays are...
Oh, hate them.
To me, surely the thirstiest, right?
Well, I think it's all about image, isn't it? And let's face it, right? I've dated a few of these Instagram gays, and I have, and I can't fucking stand it. Like, when I was dating one in particular, and they were so obsessed with Instagram and their look, and I'm sorry, but everything was filtered, like everything is, and they use face apps and things like this to make themselves look better than they actually are. Don't tell me for a single second any of these posy gays that you see on Instagram is natural. It's not. It's a fucking face app. It's a filter. It's all of that shit.
Of course it is.
All of that shit, right? And I was dating someone that was doing all this, and it made me quite unhealthy, like in terms of the way I started to perceive myself, and I would literally really worry about how I looked on my posts and the amount of likes I was getting and when I was posting and all this shit, and I was just like, oh, fuck this. That type of gay is just not for me. Like,
but that's
so
Instagram all over. Like, Instagram is... As much as I love it, it's a very posy thing for most people. I think in the gay world it's worse though. Like, for me, in my experience and what I see is it's all done for a reason. You know, they'll post a picture. This is a prime example. They'll post a picture of their dog laying in their laps, and they'll do that on purpose to show that they've got a bulge and stuff like that. Yeah. They'll put their puppies by their feet to show,
you know, because a lot of gay people are into that. Everything's done strategically for these type of gays. I'm not saying all gays on Instagram, but I'm saying these type of gays. Like, it's like everything's done for a reason. I don't want to see your dog between your bulge. I don't want to see your bulge. There's nothing there anyway. That's probably been fucking changed on FaceApp. You know, you can enlarge things.
Because you can see the little dog with the gammy
paw.
Been done.
Yeah. Even the dog's like, fucking hell, what has put me here between your legs?
It's like the great Kelly Rowland Beyonce divide, isn't it? It's the ones who can't quite cut it on OnlyFans.
To be honest with you, though, again, that's all for show as well, isn't it? Because half of the people that you see on OnlyFans don't show their faces.
Yeah.
Pig ugly, that's why.
Well, that makes me come to the next point. It's like, do you consider, well, OnlyFans for a start as social media, but also Grindr to a certain extent?
I don't think Grindr's social media.
But we spoke about this the other day, about how some people are now seeing it as places to go and meet friends, and hey, I don't know what that necessarily means for a lot of people. Probably people start as saying, "Oh, be friendly," but then they basically want to get into your pants. But then you suggested about the ones who looking for rooms.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a social media thing. I think they're just capitalising on the fact that there are lots of gays in certain areas. I don't necessarily think it's social media. Maybe it is, I don't know. But in my experience from Grindr, and I'm quite the veteran, I would consider it just a hookup app. There are people that look for rooms on there. There are people that look for people to smoke weed with.
Yeah.
There are high and horny people. If you don't know what high and horny is, go back to episode 1 or episode 2. I can't remember which one it is now, but we talk about it on there. So I think that they use...
It's a social...
There's a social aspect.
Out, yeah.
There's a social aspect to it, but I don't think it's social media. I mean, if I'm going on Grindr, I'm not looking for what they're saying in their bios. I'm looking at what they look like, if they've got a place that they can host with, and what their fucking kinks and fetishes are. And that's what I look for when I'm going on Grindr. I ain't there to be social. I'm there to pound you in or pound me in. Like, don't know which one it is. Depends. I was on there last night for a few hours, actually.
Good to know.
I had quite a conversation with a few people. Do you know what I mean? It was very social. Fine, if you say social media, yeah, I'll go on it. I'm addicted to social media, so I'm all for it.
But then OnlyFans, can you is that only paid for, or can people do free pages on there?
You can do free pages on OnlyFans.
I've never been on it.
You can do it on there. I did consider it once. Actually, I knew this guy that, this is funny, well, it's not funny, a guy that took over one of the pubs that my family used to run. And he was like running it, and he was like, "Oh, do you want to come in the pub in the morning when it was shut?" And then I went in the pub, and I thought, he doesn't know that I used to own this place, right? And we did stuff in the manager's office. Sounds like a bad porno, doesn't it? He invited me in, and we did stuff in the manager's office. But anyway, I never let anyone know that. And then, like, at the time, I was with another boy. I wasn't cheating on him. I got with another boy. We went to the pub. I thought, oh no, fucking hell. Like, I felt a bit awkward about the whole thing. Me and him never spoke about it until the penny dropped and he realised who I was. And he just texted me, he was like, "This doesn't have to be awkward." And I was like, well, it don't have to be awkward. It's fine. Did what we did, whatever. So we kind of just brushed it to the side. And he took me aside in the pub once and he was like, "You should do OnlyFans." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "You should do OnlyFans. I do OnlyFans. I can teach you how to do it." And I thought, babes, I've been with you off of OnlyFans, right? And you were terrible. So you're not teaching me shit. Like, trust me, I'm older than you, wiser than you, and I've been around the block a lot more times. And what you got going on, I'm not paying £9.99 a month for. It was fucking awful. So, yeah, I mean, they're free content, but I suppose lots of people go on there to earn a living. And it makes me laugh because they're probably not making no fucking money by being on there.
I can't imagine you make a huge amount, like, especially not, I mean, I don't, as I said, I've never been on there, I don't know what kind of, do you need verification?
I don't know, but I know celebrities make a lot of money on there, like a lot of, I'm not just talking about gay people. I guess if you've already got
a following, yeah.
I think it's not necessarily just gay people, I think it's straight people as well, like if you're famous and you kind of want to, I think if you're a celebrity, you can make a lot of money on there because people know you already and you have a platform already, and people aspire to want to see celebrities outside of just being celebrities. They want to see a sexy, disgusting, filthy side. So celebrities make a lot of money. I don't know if normal people do. I've never really met or sat with someone that does OnlyFans. I know people that do it, but I've never really spoke about how much they earn. I don't think they earn a lot.
OnlyFans is only sexual content, is it?
I don't know. I don't know. I ain't the OnlyFans expert, shall we say.
Who's going to pay $9.99 for just...
Well, I don't know. It depends what they're offering, though, don't it? If they're offering a sadistic side of sex, or going back to kinks and fetishes, they're offering certain kinks or fetishes, then you might want to pay it. Like, I don't know. I think that's where Instagays are quite clever, because they show all these fake edited sides of their life where their face is filtered, their body's filtered, everything looks great, and then they, in their link trees, they put an OnlyFans. So if you fancy them on Instagram, and let's face it, they don't look like that in real life, you can go over to their OnlyFans and look at their faceless body where they're performing sex acts. They won't show their face because it ain't nothing like it is on Instagram. So I suppose you can be quite clever with it. Gays can be quite clever with it.
Yeah, of course. I don't know, it's an interesting thing, and I don't know, I've never considered either of those things to be social media, but there's a social element to it, like you said, and it's just not quite the thing for me.
I don't think it's social media. If it was social media, then you wouldn't have to be over 18 to subscribe to it. You'd probably have to be over 15 or 16 to subscribe to it, because a lot of social media sites are over 16. However, if it's over 18, it's probably got an X-rated side to it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The argument's there, but I don't know. But all I'm saying is, I'm not going on things like Grindr. I'm not going on things like Hornet. I'm not going on things like OnlyFans to chew the cud with other gays. Do you know what I mean? I'm going on there for a reason. I'm going on there because I want someone to shag me.
Yeah.
Or I want to shag someone, or I want to, do something disgusting one night and then forget about it in the morning. Don't plan to see you again. I don't plan to even talk to you again. I block the person as soon as I've left. As soon as I left that house, and once I've banged his brains out, block. Unless I want to see him again, which is very rare.
And how did they go last night?
Fantastic. That's why I'd lay in this morning. I was like, I was fucking loose last night. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I guess like the other thing then, and the thing we've not talked about in terms of social media, is about the DM slide.
What about it?
Well, I remember hearing that for a certain generation of gays, Grindr and these kind of dating apps was not a thing anymore, and that actually people were connecting on the likes of Instagram, Twitter, and basically sliding into people's DMs to have conversations, to try and like hook up with people in that way.
Oh, I had it on LinkedIn. LinkedIn of all fucking platforms. I had it on LinkedIn once, right? Bearing in mind this, this is going to get bad. I had a guy slide into my LinkedIn DMs, and it was quite unexpected, to be honest, because let's face it, LinkedIn's a professional network.
So
right? I'm not going to say what I did. When I say what I did, I mean job-wise, not what I actually did. But he slid into my DMs, and he was really fucking hot, and I was like, oh my God, like, this is unexpected. You could have found me on Instagram, you could have found me on wherever, but you found me on LinkedIn? I found that a little bit weird, but we were in the same kind of industry.
Okay.
Right? Met up. Had a wild night, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, fucked a guy from LinkedIn. That's really weird. I fucked a guy from LinkedIn. Never expected that. Anyway, cut for 3 years later, I start a job. He's only like at the same company as me. And one time I had to give a presentation to him, and I was like, this is fucking awkward. Now, this is another problem with sliding into DMs and social media in the gay world. It's such a small community. For such big networks, it's such a small community. And I thought, oh, for fuck's sake, I connected with you on LinkedIn, connected with you in real life, and now I have to give a presentation to you. Now you know, and I know. And me being the big mouth bitch that I am, couldn't keep my mouth shut, could I? So I said to one person, guess what? Guess what happened between me and him? Before everyone fucking knew it. Well, I don't know where he is now. He left.
And I still got my job.
Well, no, not really, but yeah, that was quite a surprising one to connect with someone on LinkedIn.
I would have thrown in some of his pictures onto the slides that I had to present. Oh, sorry, I don't know how that got in there.
No, I'd lose my job. I would have lost my job. This was years ago. I'd have lost my fucking job. I wouldn't. For something that was all right, I'm not going to risk my job for him. But the funny thing about it is I didn't clock it was him, right? Until, this is hilarious, until I started working with him and I thought, oh God, he's really good looking. Bloody hell. Obviously got his name because we worked together, and I thought I'd have a little stalk with him on like social media because he's fit. Went onto Instagram, put his name in, private. Fuck. Nothing on Twitter, nothing on Facebook. So I thought, let me just check him on LinkedIn. We work for the same business or same industry. We might as well connect.
Yeah.
Went to go on LinkedIn, typed his name in. We were already connected. I thought, Then I went in. I thought, oh my god, it's Mr. fucking LinkedIn guy from 3 years ago. I fucking already connected with you. I forgot that we fucked each other 3 years ago. How about that? So yeah. The one person that I shagged from LinkedIn, met him again 3 years later, totally forgot it was him, and then had a little stroll down, I say memory lane, I mean it was probably a memory that I want to forget, but yeah. But I'd expect that more from like Instagram and stuff.
Of course.
Because you get it on Instagram, right? This is how it starts. you know, your phone's there, so-and-so likes your photo, likes your photo, likes your photo, likes your photo, and they go down. So you get all these notifications, you think, oh, I know what they're up to. And then you go in, and me, I feel obliged to at least like one back, because I'm not rude.
Yeah.
So I go in and like a photo back. That is the worst thing you could do, because then that's when you get the DM. Hey, how are you? Where are you from? I thought, you know where I'm from. You've probably seen me on Grindr, so you know we're in the same area, so why pretending? And it's so corny sliding into someone. On Instagram, it's just so fucking corny. I'm like, oh, God, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know, like, I've never been quite the DM slider.
No, I don't. I've never done that either, and I think it's quite brazen to do it. But I also, as being in charge of this week's episode, did my own research.
Oh well, can I have a glass for this, please? Fucking glass for this.
Let's get some more wine out. But yeah, like
what, we canned a bottle already?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I think it's just one of those things that people are quite brave, and you've got to make a really good. It's basically a chat up line, right? And
what, when you're sliding into someone's DMs?
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes it's a chat up line.
Yeah, but if you think about the Grindr gay who just says, hey, does anyone answer that message?
That's all I need. I don't need conversation. Hey, dick pic location. 3 things you need when you're conversing with someone on gay social media. Hey, actually 4 things. Hey, face picture, penis picture, location. Bang, I'm gone. That's all I need. The knobstacle course, I like to call it. Yes, the first obstacle of the knobstacle course is the hey. Then you look at their profile picture. All right, fine, we'll carry on through the knobstacle course. Face picture. All right, you're quite good looking, or not really, but you don't have to look at the fireplace while you're poking the fire, so you get over that, and that's fine. Third obstacle of the knobstacle course, the penis picture. Now, if it's a micro penis, probably don't want that. If it's too large, probably don't want that. You've got to be somewhere in between. And then you've got the, is it circumcised? Is it uncircumcised? You know, so that's like the T-junction of the obstacle course. So you go down that road, and then you've got like the location. And if it's far or close, whatever, if it's close, then you'll go. I've gone down a right different vibe, haven't I? Now everyone knows about my Grindr
there we go,
escapades.
listeners. If you don't follow Ronnie already, please follow his Instagram.
And if you are going to follow me on Grindr, that's the protocol that I follow, right? Message saying, hey, face photo, penis photo, location. You know, they're the 4 things that you need to get into my pants. Or not. Anyway, back to what we were saying before I went on that wild Grindr train. Told you it was always going to be about Grindr.
So, I should have taken his name. There's a famous American comedian who decided to share the best ways of sliding into DMs. The best way to slide into DMs. But actually what he kind of did is not talk about the best way to do it, but how not to do it, and then decide from there how to do it better.
What is this? A journal? Is it a written piece?
It was a blog post.
Oh, do gays follow this?
I don't know. I should have taken his name. I didn't take his name.
Let's see if I agree.
But so the first thing not to do is the emoji one.
What, like flame emoji?
So the weakest of the lot, to be honest, is the emoji one. A lazy heart emoji or fire emoji.
Oh, I love it.
Hardly likely to inspire a Shakespearean love story.
Don't want a Shakespearean love story. Flame emoji. I want to back up the back alley being filth love story. Not fucking Shakespeare. I ain't of Shakespeare.
Where he says it's a cop-out. It's the equivalent of building up the courage to talk to a guy in a club and then just walking past him and assuming he'll catch your eye and be like, oh, I love you.
This man's giving me the ump.
I think he is American.
Fucking wanker. Oh no, I love Americans, but this wanker. I disagree entirely with what you're saying.
So you'd be won over by someone just sending you a little fire emoji?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course I fucking would. Why not? Why wouldn't I? That tells me they think I'm hot. I send flame emoji to people I like.
Okay.
Always done it.
Okay.
So let's see what this Nazi guy says more. Like, what else does he say?
So number 2 is the obvious one. The obvious one, which is described slightly better than the emoji one, is a boy... He says, a boy was selling tickets to a gig in his story and I replied saying I'd be keen to buy them. To spark conversation, we had a short transactional chat and then about an hour later I said, actually, sorry, I can't go anymore. To which he replied, were you just looking for an excuse to talk to me? That said, I did actually end up dating my first boyfriend with this exact technique, so there's 50% success rate.
What, so he asked for the tickets and had no intention of going?
Yeah, he just wanted to slide into the end. It was a way in to talk to him and then saying, I don't want to go, but do you want to
this
fuck?
has got to be Americans.
I
can't
think
see British
I'm
people
almost
doing this.
honest, certainly he was American.
I mean, that's just lame. Like, is that what their version of hard to get is? Because that's just long in my eyes. And what did they say? It's a 50%?
50% success rate because it worked with his first boyfriend.
So he's done it once, is basically what you're saying.
I suspect he's single to this day.
Well, I would be surprised if he wasn't, because that is a lame way to slide into someone's DMs. I mean, come on.
Oh, he said it's better than the emoji one.
Well, I think that's fucking bullshit.
I think I would choose the emoji one over that one. The next one is very short and sweet, but equally as bad. The honest one, sliding in to say, hey, I think you're hot. Can I take you for a drink?
I have no words for that. I mean, that's just normal, right? That's just a normal way to slide into someone's DMs. Why is that obvious?
I don't know. Would you be successful with that?
Well, you won't know until you've tried it.
That's true. That's true.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
He followed that up with, please may we get married, which may be a little bit too far.
I mean, but in the gay community, right? In gay years, that's probably between messages, which is probably minutes. That's probably that's the equivalent to like 6 months in the gay world. So maybe not. Maybe not, don't know if I'd ever say to someone on Instagram DMs, would you want to get married? I think that's just...
It's a bit jokey, a bit
tragic.
Cringe, a bit tragic.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. So, we move on to number 4, which is the private profile.
Oh.
If you're going to slide in someone's DMs with a private profile, it's probably not worth it.
But you can't, can you? Like, you can't message someone.
If they haven't got a private profile, you can. But if you've got a private profile, you message someone and they go to look at your profile, then they won't see what you got to offer. So what's the point?
Well, you want to send some private photos, I'm all for that. No?
Yeah, but maybe not on Tumblr.
Well, this is Tumblr.
Oh no, this is just general social media. I think this is Instagram.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can on a
can
private profile,
pictures,
you can still send photos.
Yeah,
to
that's
people.
true.
So
Yeah.
again, it depends on the person that's doing it. If that's fucking boring, then fine. But if you've got something to show and you've got a private profile, that's absolutely fine. I'll message someone. I'll send them loads of pictures. Like, great. You can't get a photo of my face because my profile picture is private. So or my Instagram is private. So if I send you all these dick pics and then all of a sudden you want to put me on blast, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. It's pointless. It's pointless. I mean, don't slide into someone's DMs with the intention of meeting them if you can't show your face. And I guess this unfortunately brings us back to Grindr, the number of people who do it on Grindr because they're DL.
Oh,
That's
God.
bullshit.
Fuck off. People like that. Yourself. Saying that, I was DL for 3 years of my life when I was shagging men and I wasn't at. I was all for being DL then, but not now. Someone ever threatened me and said, oh, I'm going to show all your photos. I'm like, do it. Do it. I've got nothing to hide. Do it. Put pictures of me naked on your stories. Put pictures of me naked on your social media. I welcome it. Do it. Do you think that's going to scare me? Do you think I ain't been through more humiliation or more humiliating times in my fucking life? I'm actually quite proud of what I'm carrying, so fucking do it. So any of you out there that listen to this, because there's a few boys that I know that have got loads of footage of me, you ever going to try and get back at me? That's probably not the way to do it.
There we go.
Anyway, what's this next, like, Hitler of Tumblr or Hitler of Instagram saying? Because I don't agree with anything he's fucking saying.
So far it's been pretty tame, but the last one, I'm glad it's the last one because it's kind of obvious. The desperate one.
Who are we talking about?
So, he says, there are a few guys I fancy whose inbox I've slid into on a few occasions with no reply, and it's both hilarious and tragic at the same time, because you can see the techniques 1 to 3 in action, but with no reply,
I mean,
no
if you
point.
don't get a reply, what's the point?
So he then goes to say that you try the first. Basically, he's saying you try the emoji one, that doesn't work. You try the honest one.
So this is a step by
that
step.
doesn't work.
Oh, piss off.
Yeah, and it's just like, if you don't get through the first time, honey, go back home.
Are you finished with this?
Yeah.
Because I want to rip it up. It's bullshit. You find that journal. You find the name of this person that done this, because I'd like to talk to them on social media.
Next week's rant will be this man's profile.
I mean, for fuck's sake, like, I think the problem is everyone has different experiences, right? So what might not work for this person that wrote this or other gays, I won't necessarily agree with it, because I actually have had quite the success at sliding into people's DMs with just a hey, or, you know, saying I really want to take you out, or this or that. You know, I've never been knocked back. Maybe that's just me, but you know, this sounds like it's coming from a really unsuccessful gay arsehole.
But it's all about confidence, right?
Well, yeah, you have to be confident, but I suppose you have to have a certain look about you as well, because you could be the most confident person you want to be, but if you look like a fucking trash bag, no one's going to want to shag you.
I think some people might disagree with that. Not me. Not me.
Please send me a message if you disagree with that. I'd like to see what you look like.
I think there's a real, like, some people find confidence a real attraction for some people, and you may not be fine if you are like the Elephant Man, no chance. But
but what if you've got all the confidence in the world and you look like Elephant Man? You've got confidence by your logic, but I would, you know, I could speak to the most confident of people, but if you look like a pig, you belong near a trough, not in my bed.
But hopefully you have the knowledge that you're not gonna hook up with Chris Hemsworth. But
at the same time, if you're connecting with people on social media, you already are you're already on a loss here, because it will be people will judge you by the way you look. Like, it's impossible to think that you can meet someone as a gay in my world, or in this community, or in my experience, I will instantly judge somebody that DMs me on what they look like. Like, that's, for me, it's just, that's how things are. I don't think I would, you know, if I met someone in a bar or whatever, or on a dating site, I might think differently about the way they look. But if you're going to DM me on Instagram where everyone is polishing their look, of course people are going to judge you by the way you look.
Yeah, of course.
That's just, in my opinion, that's just what happens, right? So if you're going to try and look for someone on an app where you can add a filter to yourself, or you can add, you know, all sorts to your image, you can whiten your teeth, you can make your eyes darker, you can make your hair pop, you can do this, you can do that, then expect to be judged, right? Yeah. Expect to be judged, especially in the gay world, right? Expect to be judged in the gay world. I don't know how it is in straight worlds. I don't know how the Insta world is for straight people, because I've never had that experience. Yeah. But in the gay world, you're going to judge how you look. Judge how you look.
Maybe stick to Facebook. Anyway, I think at that point we probably need to wrap this up and bring this conversation to an end.
Now I'm about to go on an awkward social media loop and look at all of the people that have DM'd me and keep this idiot that wrote that article in mind, I suppose.
I will name and shame him next week, viewers, so please stay tuned for next week.
So as always, thank you for listening, and you can hit us up on TikTok and follow us on RBTW Official on TikTok. I'm not sure where it's even worse plugging the email anymore. No one fucking uses it, but it is there if you want it. It is there if you need it.
Please do. We are on rbtwofficial@gmail.com.
But please follow us on TikTok, because you see every podcast is filmed, and you see some of the funniest videos of us doing these things. It's always funny as an audio, but it's even funnier as a video. And actually this week I've gone makeup free. Yeah. And I'm in a vest. I feel very white trash right now, so I'm living for it, because it's just too fucking hot to record a podcast in a jacket. So yeah, just if anything, come and look at me and DM me. My DM's always open. I'll send you my OnlyFans link. I'll send you my Twitter link. I'll send you my Instagram. Whatever fucking link you want. And I'm always here to create new content. So. But yeah, episode 10 wrapped. Episode 11 is next week.
Indeed.
Ooh, it's next week. So I'm sure we'll come back with something fun.
Yeah.
But yeah. And we're rocking our new ring lights, which I love.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, thank you for listening. And 10 weeks. We've really appreciated you listening for 10 weeks.
We're glad you're
You
still
probably
with us.
could get less for ABH in the UK, so we do appreciate it. But always send us your feedback. Send us what you want to hear. We always welcome stories, feedback and topics and things you want us to cover. And the more offensive, the better. So yes. So see you next week, next Sunday, for episode 11. Bye.
Bye.